Hi everyone, I am in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I am outside of Electric Fetus Records, which is an enormous store, has an incredible selection, and I also love that on their front door, I think they say, "We kindly request that you still wear your mask," which I did. Just a cool shop. I spent the night, overnight in Minneapolis, and met up with my cousin Buck, who was very close with my brother. So we had a couple of drinks, and that was nice. And I've now, since my last video, where was I in my last one? I don't even remember. Montana. Spent a couple nights in Montana. Don't think I'm going to move to Montana. Part of this journey is to consider places where I may want to move. Right now, Seattle is atop that list. Minneapolis has always been a city that I've considered moving to, and is still there. There's just something about it. Something about the spirit of Minneapolis that I've always loved. I really liked Fargo, but it may just be a little bit too small for me. I think it's about 110,000 people live there, and it would be a bit of a drive to get to a major city like Minneapolis, Chicago. So I went to a record store. So I have two record stores I'm going to share records from. The first was in Fargo, and it was called Vinyl Giant, I think Vinyl Giant Records. And the Airbnb I was staying at, on both corners, outside the front door of the Airbnb, were record stores. One was called Vinyl Giant, the other one, I think Vinyl Giant, and the other one was called Orange Records. Orange wasn't open, so I went to Vinyl Giant and picked up a few records. And like I said, last night I was in Minneapolis. I'm heading to Madison, Wisconsin tonight, and then I will be in Chicago, the destination, for a bunch of days, and then I'll be heading home. So the Fargo record store, I picked up just two records. The first, this is one that is in my brother's memory, and will go to one of his friends. This is Linda Ronstadt's Heart Like a Wheel. I have this on, I have the MoFi, mobile fidelity version of this, and a regular version. And I've been listening to a lot of my brother's Spotify playlists. I don't know if Spotify playlists you can look up if they're public, but again, his name's Lane Campbell. He has great playlists, and if you can find them, I would recommend taking a look. He did playlists for moods, right? He had like golfing playlists. He had road trip playlists. You know, a lot of the playlists that many of us make. But he went deep on a lot of stuff. I think he has one, Jimmy Buffett's best only good songs or something. I don't know. He has some good stuff on there. I've been listening to a lot of his playlists. So Linda Ronstadt, Heart Like a Wheel. This is a fantastic record. My mom, not long ago, which I may have mentioned on this channel, randomly said, "Yeah, your father and I saw Linda Ronstadt at the Troubadour in LA in the 70s. And I was, what? Did you just say? How cool is that? So, got that, and one of Lane's friends or family members will be getting that. Let's put it back here in a few days. And then I picked up for myself this Golden Smog, sorry for the glare, reissue of Down by the Old Mainstream. I have the original, but I do not have this thick reissue. It's really heavy. I don't know if this is like 2,000 gram. Only 1755 pressed worldwide. This is number 1613. I love this record. Anybody who knows, this is the super group of, it's Craig Johnson from Run Westy Run, Jeff Tweedy from Uncle Tupelo and Wilco. I think that's Noah Levy from the Honey Dogs, Mark Perlman from the Jayhawks, Dan Murphy from Soul Asylum, and Gary Loris from the Jayhawks. Wow, I didn't know that I'd be able to nail that after all these years. But this is a wonderful record, and I've always wanted the reissue, and I wanted to support this store, so picked up those two. Those are the only two in Fargo. And then here in Minnesota, I went a little bit more nuts. I think I'd mentioned my brother went to the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. That's where he went to undergrad. He originally went to Rollins in Florida, and due to some family stuff, which I won't get into here, you can read my memoir one day, which I'm actually, I think I've mentioned. Once this trip is done, I'm going to finish that. I'm going to need a little breathing room, but I wrote a memoir about music, my brother, mental health, and hopefully within a year you'll be able to pick it up. So I visited my brother here once when he was at the University of Minnesota. Maybe there's only one that I remember, because I was young, and it was in 1994. He was living on Hennepin, which I walked up and down last night, and this was after he graduated at University of Minnesota. I think he was working at a bank or something. I can never remember. And he and I saw Freddie Johnston on New Year's Eve. I think it was 1994 into 95. It was the night before New Year's Eve, so December 30th. We saw Freddie Johnston and at First Avenue, and that was just a great trip. I remember staying in his apartment on Hennepin. It was snowing like crazy. I remember us walking to the video store to get VHS videos to watch, and we watched some great. I remember him playing Hollywood Town Hall by the Jayhawks, just being in Minnesota. He had an incredible Replacements poster, which I'm going to get to in a second, which is why I bought one of these records. I won't give it away yet. But we, also in our childhood, my stepmother's family was from St. Paul, so we used to come out here from time to time. But my real memories are visiting my brother here. One last thing, and then I'll just get to the records. And it's funny. I can see inside the record store, and I can see what people are buying, and they're buying great stuff. One guy just bought an Impulse. I can see through the window. Another guy wearing a Yanks cap. I guess we're feeling good because we've won 2 in a row. I'm a Yankees fan. Big win last night over Seattle. But I digress. It just feels good to be in Minnesota. If I can make it past the university on the way out, I will do so. So I'm gonna map that after this. But from Minneapolis, I bought one record for myself, which is this Stanley Turrentine. That's Where It's At. Beautiful Blue Note. Reissued 2020 on UMG. Blue Note 1962. It's called, That's Where It's At. It's a bit pricey, but my jazz collection is growing, and Blue Note, they just never fail, or they've never failed me. And I'm thrilled to have this mastered by Kevin Gray, which is what a lot of EC people like to say. 180 gram vinyl. That is the purchase for myself. Maybe one other. Oh, there's one other for myself. And this is based on Lane. This is Jerry Rafferty, which I've been looking for this for a while. City to City. Lane, on his playlists on Spotify, he put Baker Street and Right Down the Line, especially Right Down the Line, on so many playlists. And I remember he loved those songs, especially Baker Street, when we were kids, or young teens, preteens. I remember he would drive around. Lane had, I think it was a Firebird. I think it was a Firebird or Camaro that my dad bought him, and it was totally not Lane's style. And Lane, from what I remember, hated the car, but he had no other choice. That's the car he had. I remember it had no heat, and New Jersey winters are brutal. I remember he'd like bundle up to get in the car, and then he'd like put cassettes. It was really funny stuff. But he loved Jerry Rafferty, so Lane, this one I'm keeping. Now to the sort of tribute records that his friends are gonna get. Oh, there's the sticker to the store in there. I'm gonna put that on my water bottle. This is I don't know if Lane was a huge Roy Orbison fan, but I know that my mother was, and we were raised on Roy Orbison in my mom's house. I've talked a lot about my dad's house, Springsteen and Seeger and Jackson Brown and James Taylor, but my mom's house, it was more oldies, Elvis, Roy Orbison, and I saw this and I just thought, maybe I'll give this to my mom on the day. Well, she watches my videos, so if you want it, it's all yours. Or maybe I'll give it to one of his friends, but Roy Orbison's all-time greatest hits. I'm going to take the sticker out so I can put it on my water bottle. That's one. Just had to do it. Born to Run, the reissue, which sounds wonderful. I have it. One of Lane's friends who I meet on Friday night will be getting this. I'm sure that they all have the record, but I'm also pretty sure that they probably don't have the reissues, so these will be going, or this will be going to one of his friends. Just, I don't need to say much about this record. Everybody knows it. A masterpiece. Really the record, at least for me, that got it all started as a kid. The music that I listened to, or that I heard in my father's house, was, this record was just played over and over and over, thousands and thousands of times, or hundreds of thousands, I don't know, billions of times. Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run. And to close it out, I already hinted, but this just reminds me of my time with my brother. He had the poster on his wall of this album cover, and I remember, I think I asked him if I could have it, and he kindly said no. And I wonder if he still has, or if that was left in his apartment. I'm sure it was, and I hope whoever got it loves it as much as I did. So this is the Replacements record, All Shook Down. I was going to get Let It Be, but so funny. A woman parked in front of me, and she was having a little trouble parallel parking, and ended up pretty far off the curb. And she got out and kind of looked at how far off the curb she was, and she went like who cares, whatever. I'm going to buy records. I don't care how far it. Oh, now she's fixing it. So the Replacements, All Shook Down. Again, Let It Be is what I would say is their was a record I was going to get, but this is the one that reminds me the most of my brother in Minneapolis. He had this in a poster on his wall. It was wonderful, and I hope, again, whoever has that now is enjoying it. I like this record. It's not considered one of their best, I don't think it is, but Merry Go Round, Nobody's Sadly Beautiful, When It Began, Attitude. There's some great songs on this record. Came out in 1990. It was near the end of the road for the Replacements. I'm looking at just a couple of the musicians who played on this record, and one of them is Abe Lincoln. I don't know if they really had a friend named Abe Lincoln, or that's just a joke. But of course, Chris Mars, Slim Dunlap, John Cale played on this record. I don't know. All Shook Down will be going to one of his friends. And that's it. Again, I'll be in Madison tonight, and I'm gonna try to. I'm sure there's good record stores in Madison, and then I'll be off to Chicago for my brother's memorial. Not sure that I'll make record store stops there, and in all likelihood, I'm not going to do this on the drive back. I may change my mind on that, but I've been spending a lot of money on records, and I gotta slow it down. And the real trip has been the road trip out to Chicago, at least for me, in terms of coming to terms with the reality of my brother being gone. Going into record stores and talking to people about music and seeing my cousin Buck last night, that has helped me tremendously. And lastly, a lot of people have been leaving incredibly sweet, loving comments. Many of these people I do not know. A gentleman named, I think it's John Rincon, left a beautiful message. Somebody yesterday a guy named Mike left a message about he put two and two together and realized who my brother was. I guess he had met him. And I just want to thank you all for that. I can't possibly express how much it helps in my going through this process, a process that I have never gone through at this level. I know I've mentioned I lost my stepfather. It would be a year ago on this past July 5th. That was a heartbreaker, and I miss him dearly. He played a large part in raising me, but he was ill, and his death was unexpected. It was, we didn't think he was going to go. But obviously with my brother, it was a very different, you can't compare. I don't know what I'm saying here. I think you understand what I'm trying to say. It was very unexpected and very heartbreaking, and I dearly miss both of them, and I just again want to thank you all. I didn't know that making YouTube videos, one, that people would follow me, and two, that I would connect with such sweet, good people. So thanks for that. I'm going to listen to Steve Earle's El Corazon on the ride. I don't know, that just came to mind, and I want to listen to that one. So hope you have a good day, and I will check in with you soon. Take care.